is the federal government threatens to withdraw marketers' license over hoarding, and of course that's hoarding of fuel. The federal government has threatened to withdraw licenses of oil marketers found guilty of hoarding petroleum motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, following the unabated scarcity in Abuja, Niger, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and many other states, including Lagos, as at yesterday. From yesterday, I think Saturday, thereabout too. Some states, especially those in the north, has witnessed continuous petrol scarcity for a while now, a situation that has since degenerated into many stations closing up shops due to a lack of supply. However, the federal government, through its Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, has issued a warning to oil marketers that filling stations that hoard petrol and sell to black markets in jerrycans would have their licenses withdrawn. The warning was handed down by the Executive Director of Distribution Systems, Storage and Retailing Infrastructure, Obugo Ukoha, in a video clip shared by the regulator during an inspection tour in Abuja. He said that retail petrol stations should stop encouraging the sales of products to black marketers who dispense the products in jerrycans. Ukoha said that such action posed serious safety concerns and should be discontinued. Also, on its X handle, which is Twitter, the downstream regulator said it had declared war against the illegal sales of petrol products. A marketer now, who did not want to be named due to sensitivity of the matter, disclosed that the product is available in fuel depot at high rate. The National Vice President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Ahmed Fashola, stated that marketers are still waiting for the NNPC to supply sufficient fuel. So that's the state of what it is now. Femi, what's your reaction to this? Yes, we all know. I thought at a point they said the vessel was, out. There's a time they said it was, on shore, still see something, one thing, they could not come out and all of that. At the end of the day, we heard they are back, so there's fuel. So what is going on now? Because I don't know about you. How long have you parked your car now? Like you can't stand the queue.
I'm not even planning to drive a very long time. Probably when I convert my car to CNG, maybe I can now, because I think that's a little more affordable. I think it's maybe 230 something naira per liter compared to my friend told me this morning he bought for 890 per liter. Yeah, told me, but because in fact the queue is everywhere.
It's heavy. Some persons are not even selling.
Yes. So my position on this, one, I'm still very skeptical. Reasons why Nigerian president wants to be Minister of Petroleum. So it's difficult for most citizens to call out ministers because social media now, you can drag anybody and you find that the minister is already addressing certain things and doing threads, doing president. But how do you want to drag the president without probably committing one or two things? Or that's when the Nigerian police, they know how to use your social media handle to track you. I've seen in this country where somebody in past presidents called the first lady, is it a dog or something, and they picked Shola up and locked him up for 3 months. In the name of what he was trying to fight, what Shola was trying to fight for was actually right. But because out of annoyance he added the word dog. Acting like a dog. The guy was locked up for 3 months.
So they can fish him out like
but
that.
If yes, they can fish you out through IP address and other things. It's so easy. So you don't even celebrities fish people who drag them out. Let alone of the presidency who can use the instrument of law, the DSS and the like. So until we now make sure that presidents stop being ministers of petroleum, we may not see that push that Nigerians are willing. That's number one. Number two, I still don't understand the shred of secrecy. Thank God for people like Dangote that have been using the mic for a while, even though I do not think when the elites fight, I've conditioned my mind to think it's never about the masses. I've always conditioned my mind to think it's never about the masses because each of them has their own gains or whatever. But if the likes of Dangote can be screaming, doing several press, there's rarely how in 2 days or 3 days that the Dangote refinery does not do press release on social media. They do a press release. That shows you what is at stake and what's involved. So I'm of the opinion that especially our oil, except the presidency finds a way to fast track our conversion to CNG. Fast track. And by saying fast track, I really mean that you must get most of NNPC stations. NNPC is nationwide. There's no reason why NNPC stations should not be doing the conversion. We don't have reasons to now wait for new places to be built in the name of why can't we use NNPC stations? Then other private fuel stations can buy into it with the right incentive. That is the only way so many of us can convert. Then probably make it subsidized or free. That money you've lifted from, I understand, in Tinubu's manifesto, he is going head on with the use of fuel, and he wants to cut down on it because he feels that's the way they can actually control it, and he's all in for CNG. But the timing is the problem. Food is expensive due to inflation. The cost of fuel has gone up, and people need to move goods from the farm to the market. You have to buy in the market and move to your house. So you have to go to work. So if we don't solve transportation, we will keep shouting about inflation if we don't solve transportation. And it has gone. The protest did not help anything to cut down the price of fuel. So definitely what I think protesters should be clamoring for right now is all NNPC stations nationwide should also have a site that will be used for conversion. And we need a deadline if that is the way the government, this present administration wants to travel.
Okay, thank you very much. He said something about the CMD. I actually like that, but can we actually put the safety cautions to place if we have to even do this conversion of a thing to let fuel rest?
Fuel can never rest. We'll always need fuel. We can only reduce the consumption of
exactly,
fuel,
that's what I mean.
Will always be there. I don't know anything about the CNG. And if we want to do the CNG as a nation, as a country, we should do that. But when we are going to be out of failure, everything has fallen apart. We can't handle the refineries, we can't handle the oil industry. There's so much theft in the oil industry. And the average man stealing oil is not a mechanic of the street. The top government officials, the generals, the very powerful politicians, because it takes so much to steal oil, the complex pipe work and selling it to foreign buyers. So it takes so much connection and so much know-how to do it. And then our refineries are not working, and we have subsidies. You wonder why refineries will not work, and there are people working in these refineries and getting paid every month for producing no petrol. So that's the irony, that's the paradox. You pay people, you employ them, and in the end they produce nothing. And it's normal to Nigerians. And the fuel subsidy thing is an enigma, or an enigma wrapped in a riddle, or riddle wrapped in an enigma. It's intractable. You can't decode it. We don't really know what it is. President Goodluck Jonathan said it's one big scam. And Buhari said the same thing, it's a scam. President Tinubu removed it the first day in office. But I said it has been reintroduced. And if you have reintroduced it, why is the price of oil skyrocketing? So it's something you cannot explain. One former oil minister said, there's no subsidy at all. Why is there no subsidy? Because we don't import oil. We produce oil. And the oil we produce, a percentage of it is earmarked for local consumption. But because our refineries are not working, this oil earmarked for local consumption is taken outside of Nigeria, refined and returned. So what we pay on them is cost of refining, not cost of landing. You buy your clothes, take to the tailor. The tailor sews it. You pay the tailor for sewing, cost of sewing, not cost of sewing plus cost of the material. So you talk of landing costs. Where are they landing from? Do we buy oil from Saudi Arabia? So it's one complex mix. When they talk about marketers this time, who is a marketer? Is it the man operating a filling station around the corner, or those supplying him, or those importing from overseas? Who is the marketer in this context?
The one selling the fuel.
But if you complicate his life, why wouldn't his response to the public or service to the public be complicated? You've messed up the system already. So in the final end product, you get messed up output. So it's the government must come clear. And like you said, why has the ministers always been petroleum? Why has the president always been oil ministers? Explain these things to us and let us understand. But for now, it's all too fuzzy, it's all too complex. We are just suffering and we don't understand why. But there's no landing cost anywhere. You don't buy crude from anywhere.
Let me add one or two things. Number one, the Buhari administration did a lot of borrowings, and our domestic plus foreign debt skyrocketed, and Nigerians took a stand. It was obvious the Nigerians were taking a stand that in fact, it became a campaign point for the opposition that we're borrowing our future. Now, at the tail end of the Buhari administration, rather than add to debt, they now came up with a trick to do oil swap, crude with IOCs in exchange for cash to do certain projects. Then, because those IOCs are committed, we've mortgaged for, I'm talking about years, I'm talking about crude for certain number of years, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years. Yes. Now, it is eating deep into the local consumption because you have to satisfy them because they've given you cash. And it's the major reason why Dangote began to shout, because all of the expectations, all what he expected, that it would be easier for him to get crude, they've given commitments and the government have collected money. I don't know, maybe you get what I'm trying to say. So now, at this point, the government has only two choices: getting partners, explore more fields, and get more oil wells.
Yeah.
Or get the abandoned ones that had litigation issues working, settle the solve of the litigations, so that we can now meet OPEC's benchmark of 2 million barrel per day. So the present 1.6 that we are doing is mortgaged. So if what we have and what we are taking out is already mortgaged because we've collected cash to do certain projects, then you agree with me that those ones that actually take it to refine have a choice to sell to us or not. It's a choice at the moment right now.
Yeah, but subsidy is not a thing of yesterday. What you're talking is that we got into this problem, this hole, because we overborrowed. But even before we overborrowed, there was the politics of subsidy. Subsidy was there. And like the oil minister said, in essence, there is no subsidy. It's one big scam.
Okay, anyways, I just want to ask this now, because it says something, and I actually agreed with what the federal government said, which is about people that are selling to the black marketers, the ones that carry the jerrycan and all of that. I'm like, okay, that's the north. But if they should bring it down to Lagos, because I know most of these filling stations, they prefer to sell to people in jerrycans, not because they are selling black markets, but because they can't park their cars, because the queue of the cars is too long and it causes traffic. So some of them will be like, I don't want to park my car. Anybody can vandalize my car or do anything to my car or get me wrong. I'd rather carry my jerrycan, board a bike and get to my house, which they always prefer. So I don't know. Do you think it can actually work in Lagos that way?
But Blossom, there's an Igbo saying, "Ife batalo nya batalo mekia." Okay? Imekonya in Igbo is if you have a saw and something touches it, and you even feel aggravates the situation, it's because there was a saw already. That's why something can spike it or wound it even more. So selling in jerry cans, lining up, style of lining up, are you gonna take Okada, take your jerry can or with your car. Those are because there is problem already. So the fundamental thing is to address this fundamental problem that has lingered for so long, and nobody, because people are benefiting from the chaos, the scam, the secrecy, it has remained. So let the government, our president, who is the president and minister of oil, let him resolve the problem with oil. And whether you're selling black market, if there's fuel and no fuel, no black market,
yes.
no jerry cans. So that's what the issue is. So do not leave the problem and be worrying about the symptoms.
Okay, all right, if you say so. Anyway.